Well, hello, hello. It is Saturday afternoon, and I was taking some pork that I had uh, cooked in the Instapot, and I'm chopping it in the Ganjia chopper. It's what I've done so far. And we're going to set that over here. I've got one of my Corot pans. I'm going to turn that heat on. I put that new bacon up, bacon grease that I've been using, and I was pleasantly surprised how much I really do like it, because it does give me the flavor of bacon without that having to uh, get all that sodium and stuff. So now into this, I'm just going to put some of this Great Value seasoning blend into my pan, because I'm going to use this twice. Once for what I'm making here. Now I'm just going to let that saute a little bit. And while I'm doing that, talking to y'all, I'm going to look here in my cupboard. And I know that I have, or I think I do, I'm looking for the can of tomatoes. We don't want pumpkin. That's corn. Well, I might should put tomatoes in that. But since I cannot imagine why I wouldn't have it, but that's okay. I'll just go ahead and saute that. I'll go ahead and saute those onions and stuff in that bacon grease. I don't know how you couldn't like that. And I'm just floored about not having my can of tomatoes. Okay, to that, I'm going to add just some Great Value cut okra. If I had the tomatoes, I would add that, but since I don't, I'm just going to add the cut okra. Let that cook down. I'll be back. Okay, and do that okra, I'm going to add some hash brown potatoes. I'm just going to add about 2 cups of hash brown potatoes. Mix them in with that okra. Get that bacon grease coming up. And now to those okra and potatoes, I'm going to add a teaspoonful of my sesame seed oil. I've told y'all to keep that around for anything like this. Salt and pepper. I'm just letting that cook down some. That's kind of like a country stir fry. And it's very tasty. We used to get this when we get that vegetables out of the garden. Now then, I'm going to put some pork into that. Ground pork. And just throw that around. Now you can do this in your skillet or with the potatoes and the okra with the onions and the pork. Make a real good dish, side dish. So that, let me cut that down a little bit. I wouldn't think that'd be good, but all those flavors, they marry each other and it's very good. All right, so I forgot to turn the camera back on. I've got 1 cup of yellow cornmeal and my half cup of flour. And I'm going to mix that together. And I'm going to get a teaspoon of my baking powder. I use that pumpkin that's aluminum gaffing that's aluminum free. Then I'll take a half teaspoon of my baking soda. Then I'm going to get me my measuring cup here. And I'm going to get 1.5 cups. And I'm going to put just a little bit of, because I don't have any buttermilk right now. But you know what I do have? We'll set this milk aside and I'll use it for in the morning cereal. I do have some cream. So let me get my, let's see if we'll just put our cream in there. I don't use quite as much cream. I'll use 1 cup instead of 1.5 cups of cream. And then I'll add a little bit of vinegar to that, about a teaspoon of vinegar to that. And that will culture that or make that like buttermilk. See how thick that's getting with that vinegar in it? We'll just let that set just a second. While we're letting that set, let's get us 1 egg. Put our 1 egg in there. I want this batter to be a little thicker than normal. We put this cream and stuff up because I am going to fry this in this bacon grease. So let me whip that egg right there on top. I'm just going to whip it right there a little bit. Now I'm going to add my milk with vinegar. Can do buttermilk. That's just didn't have none. So we have to improvise. Just have to improvise. May have got too much powder in this. If I did, then you know what we do, we put hot water in it. Out of the hot water spigot. And even with that cream, it'll make it thicker than with milk. So, and that'll swell up pretty good. What I may do is, since I misjudged that, let me see how this mix up, and then I'll tell you. And it might mix up fine. Let me see here. Gotta put some salt in it. You gotta have salt. If you don't, it'll be boring cornbread, the way I call it. I hope y'all doing okay today, being Saturday and staying out of that traffic and stuff for the Memorial Day. I'm not feeling so well, but I've got to cook, you know. Been real dizzy again, and it's allergies. I know what it is. Seems like everybody I know, excluding Mother, has been sick with the allergies or cold or flu or I don't know, something. The crud, just the old crud. I may just get a pan. Let me get one of my pans here. One of these Cornbread pans. I'll put a little bit of hot grease in it. And just get that hot, big new hot skillet out of the way. And I'm just going to bake this instead of fry it because I got it too liquidy to fry. So we're just going to put it down in this pan right here. I could have used the iron skillet. As long as you got a pan, all that matters. Get all that out there. You don't want to waste nothing. Okay, now then, kind of shake that. And I'll get that in the oven and I'll be back. Okay, the cornbread went off. Now, let me check and see. Let me get my little puppet. My little puppet, doodly doo. There's our cornbread. Now, let me get the oven closed. Check this and see if it is done. Let me get the bamboo. This is my cornbread board. I use this board just for cornbread. That's when I turn my cornbread just right out. Whoop! I caught it on that. Napkin. Not napkin. I caught it on that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Ooh, it's hot, hot, hot. Let's just cut it. Cut us a piece. But it's good. It's good. It is good. Paper plate. Plastic plate. I don't know what you call it. Flip that over. There's that cornbread. Let me. Ooh, that's so hot. Boy, that bacon grease makes it taste like grandma's. I didn't lay any butter out because I didn't know I was going. I didn't know I was going to next. I got some Brahms butter. I didn't know I was gonna make cornbread today. You know, when you get in the kitchen and you kind of just. Let me get grandmother's pink plate. One I use for butter. There's our butter plate. Let me get these dishes so they don't crash to the floor. Till that cools off, I'm not going to attempt to turn that. I might could use one of my ironwood, but I'm just going to leave it as is because I'd rather do it that way than flip it, be all out on the floor. So then I'll let this cool down and I'll put it in some plastic bags. See all that steam. Gotta get that. Oh, it's good though. All right, so what we'll do is we'll take 2 pieces of butter, put it underneath that. It may look like the dickens, but it'll taste really good. If I'd have added tomatoes to this, I would have been happier. But I didn't have them. So this is what we're going to have. Grandmother used to call it slum gully, but it's just a pork, okra, onion with your slivered potatoes and cornbread. Just an old meal that then you add your tomatoes to it. But since we didn't have them with this, first time I ever had it without tomatoes, but I think it'll be good. So that's what we're going to have. It always seems better when it's out of the garden, the okra. So we'll talk to you later. God bless you. God bless us. God bless the United States. We'll talk to you soon. Happy Memorial Day.